Hey, before we begin, I just want to say thank you so very much to everyone watching and supporting the channel. We hit 1,000 subs recently and have just been continuing to grow so much. We'll be doing a celebration for 1,000 subs sometime soon, I promise. But thank you again. Now, back to the video. Nearly all the beasts in Bloodborne are weak to fire, because many of them have hearts of ice. This condition is not something that is easily seen, nor something that many have really thought about. Hopefully by the end of this video you'll understand a little bit better. In Bloodborne, you come across a slew of different beasts and monsters in your hunt through Yharnam, each one tainted by the blood they've consumed, poisoned both in body and in mind. However, there lies a distinct difference between the common beasts you've come across in your hunt and the bosses that stand tall above everything else. Let's give some background to help understand what we're talking about. In the early days of the city of Yharnam, ancient and eldritch blood was found and used to provide newfound knowledge to the people using it. They later found that it even had healing properties to it. This led to the formation of the Healing Church and the practice of blood ministration, where high-ranking clerics and vicars of the church experimented to heighten the capabilities of the old blood. This, in turn, had disastrous effects on the population of Yharnam, the clerics and vicars, poisoning them and creating the beastly scourge. Eventually, this is where you, the hunter, come in on the night of the hunt. When we first move through the city of Yharnam, a blood-curdling scream lets us know that something monstrous waits for us. Making our way through central Yharnam, we come to the Great Bridge, where we are greeted by that monster that called to us earlier. This is the Cleric Beast, a monster that was once high-ranking in the Healing Church, but now is a malformed and crazed beast that desires nothing more than to crush and destroy anything that comes near it. The look of this Cleric Beast is an odd one, as we've never seen anything like it up to this point. From what we've learned, beasts should appear more wolf-like than anything. This form is from the tainted mind and heart of the former cleric, as they imbibed too much of the old blood, making their heart frozen solid and giving them this distinct look and strength. Lying in the inspiration for this monstrous beast is the Wendigo. To preface and to show respect for the cultures that believe in these beings, for the rest of the video I'll be referring to these creatures as frozen hearts. Coming into more popularity over the last 100 years, this monster has seen a massive resurgence in not only the horror genre of games and movies, but in overall storytelling. Bloodborne is just one of the many pieces of media that showcase the harrowing and terrifying creatures that haunted Native Americans for thousands of years. The Frozen Heart is a creature of the night that was said to be strongly associated with harsh winters, famine, and cannibalism. Many who ventured into the vast and unknown wilderness unprepared would go mad with hunger or paranoia, leading them to fits of rage and even cannibalism to survive. So, how does this fit with the Cleric Beast? Well, for starters, many of the Healing Church's clergy would consume the tainted blood and would slowly go mad with the power that began to swell within them. The insight gained from consuming blood turns them into monstrous and towering beasts with hearts of ice. In modern depictions of the Frozen Hearts, they are human-like figures with elongated limbs, razor blade teeth, and terrible claws. As well, it's said that their strength is as much as, if not more, than 10 men. On top of all this are the notable and distinct antlers that adorned their heads of fur and ashen flesh. When hearing this description and looking at the Cleric Beast, we see the strong similarity. Another beast that fits with this modern depiction is Vicar Amelia, who sits in the Grand Cathedral, waiting and wanting to prove her faith to the old blood. transforming into a monstrous creature akin to the Cleric Beast, with antlers, animal fur, and ferocious strength to boot. However, when looking at both these monsters, they don't quite fit the original look and aspect of the cannibalistic and violent spirit of Native American myth. Originating in the northern Great Plains and the east coast of North America, the Frozen Heart was said to be both a monster that haunted the harsh woodlands, but also a deadly spirit that was capable of possessing weary and starving travelers. According to the Algonquian people, it was said that this monster came from the heinous act of cannibalism, or the act of consuming another of your species' flesh. It was said to be the embodiment of greed, hunger, and malevolence, as it would kill and consume more and more, unable to satisfy its violent appetite. As it eats, the Frozen Heart's body and limbs grow and disfigure to a massive size. In contrast, it was said that it maintained its nearly skeletal look. However, in the original descriptions, the monster had a distinct lack of antlers. One Algonquin legend stated, "It is a giant with a heart of ice. Sometimes it is thought to be entirely made of ice. Its body is skeletal and deformed, with missing lips and toes." In this description, and many others like it, the Frozen Heart is a hideous creature, meant to churn the stomachs of any who dare brave the harsh woodlands. So, where did the antlers come from as we see them now? Currently, the earliest description known comes from both Algernon Blackwood's 1910 novella, where he describes how the creature moves and attacks, but as well Matt Fox's 1944 illustration of that story. Here, we see the demon take a man to his death, adorned with the now iconic antlers. It's not fully known why the antlers were added, but it was thought that as the personification of the violence of nature, the monster would appear more frightening to audiences, thus giving us the look of the monster and beast that we see today. I want to note as well that if you haven't played the game Until Dawn, I would highly recommend it, as they depict these Frozen Hearts nearly perfectly. It's best to keep in mind that what the Frozen Hearts represented is what gives them their power. The power of greed, gluttony, and violent acts were, and still are today, considered driving forces for gruesome destructions of the self and those around as well. As for the reason why these creatures were said to have hearts of ice, it may actually come from multiple thoughts. One thought is that enduring the harsh winter was not very likely for many people, and as much of the land was frozen, it could not produce any viable prospect for plant life. In turn, this made people desperately hungry, and commit themselves to eating those that could not survive. This cannibalistic act has been shown to cause extreme mental anguish, and can turn the person into a shell of what they once were, their heart frozen in time because of what they had to do to survive. Another prevailing thought is that as a person grew more and more selfish, only caring for what benefited them, the person would grow hungrier for more of what they desired, unable to satisfy their deep and dark cravings, until the warmth of kindness faded, leaving their heart as cold as ice. Both the Cleric Beast and Vicar Amelia show their selfish nature, as they are solitary in their bouts of faith, lost to the coldness that now fills their hearts and minds, desiring above all else the continued consumption of the old blood, finally turning them into beasts from Native American myth with hearts of ice. If you're interested in learning more about the beasts of Yharnam and how they connect with werewolves, then click here. Or if you want to learn more about where the old blood comes from, then click here. I hope you all enjoyed learning more about the Wendigo. If you did, be sure to like the video and subscribe to show your support. And as well, let me know down in the comments what you'd like to see next. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.